तत्परामार्थिकम् देवहूतिरुवाच लक्षणं महदधीनां प्रकृते पुरुषस्य च स्वरूपं लक्ष्यते मीशां येन तत्परामार्थिकं देवहूतिरुवाच लक्षणं महदधीनां प्रकृते पुरुषस्य च स्वरूपं लक्ष्यते मीशां येन तत्परामार्थिकं यथा सांख्येषु कथितं यन्मूलं तत् प्रचक्षते भक्तियोगस्य मे मार्गं ब्रूहि विस्तरसः प्रभो यथा सांख्येषु कथितं यन्मूलं तत् प्रचक्षते भक्तियोगस्य मे मार्गं ब्रूहि विस्तरसः प्रभो यथा सांख्येषु कथितं यन्मूलं तत् प्रचक्षते भक्तियोगस्य मे मार्गं ब्रूहि विस्तरसः प्रभो. Synonyms, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Devahuti Uvacha, Devahuti said, Lakshanam, symptoms, Mahat Adinam, of the Mahat Tattva and so on, Prakrite, of material nature, Purushasya, of the spirit, Cha, and Swarupam, the nature, Lakshate is described, Amisham, of these, Yena, by which, Tat Paramarthikam, the true nature of them, Yatha, as Sankheshu in Sankhya philosophy, Kathitam is explained, Yat, of which, Moolam, ultimate end, Tat, that, Prachakshate, they call, Bhakti Yogasya, of devotional service, May, to me, Margam, the path, Bruhi, please explain, Vistrasaha, at length, Prabhu, my dear Lord Kapila. Translation. Devahuti inquired, my dear Lord, you have already very scientifically described the symptoms of the total material nature and the characteristics of the spirit according to the Sankhya system of philosophy. Now, I shall request you to explain the path of devotional service, which is the ultimate end of all philosophical systems. I'll read this again. I shall request you to explain the path of devotional service, which is the ultimate end of all philosophical systems. Purport. In this 29th chapter, the glories of devotional service are elaborately explained, and the influence of time on the conditioned soul is also described. The purpose of elaborately describing the influence of time is to detach the conditioned soul from his material activities, which are considered to be simply a waste of time. In the previous chapter, Material Nature, the Spirit of the Supreme Lord or Super Soul, the Spirit and the Supreme Lord or Super Soul are analytically studied. And in this chapter, the principles of Bhakti Yoga or devotional service, the execution of activities and eternal relationship between the living entities and the personality of Godhead are explained. Bhakti Yoga, devotional service, is the basic principle of all systems of philosophy. All philosophy which does not aim for devotional service to the Lord is considered merely mental speculation. But of course, Bhakti Yoga, with no philosophical basis or more or less sentiment. There are two classes of men. Some consider themselves intellectually advanced and simply speculate and meditate, and others are sentimental and have no philosophical basis for their propositions. Neither of these can achieve the highest goal of life, or if they do, it'll take them many, many years. Vedic literature therefore suggests that there are three elements, namely the Supreme Lord, the living entity, and their eternal relationship, and that the goal of life is to follow the principles of bhakti or devotional service, and ultimately to attain the planet of the Supreme Lord in full devotion and love as an eternal servitor of the Lord. Sankhya philosophy is the analytical study of all existence. One has to understand everything by examining its nature and characteristics. This is called acquirement of knowledge. Very powerful, it simplifies many things, and this will be in context to what this whole chapter actually, what the entire philosophy, Bhakti Yoga. Sankhya philosophy is the analytical study of all existence. One has to understand everything by examining its nature and call characteristics. This is called acquirement of knowledge. But one should not simply acquire knowledge without reaching the goal of life or the basic principle for acquiring knowledge, Bhakti Yoga. If we give up Bhakti Yoga and simply busy ourselves in the analytical study of the nature of things as they are, then the result will be practically nil. It is stated in the Bhagavatam that such engagement is something like husking a paddy. There is no use beating the husk if the grain has already been removed. By scientific study of material nature, the living entity, and the supersoul, one has to understand the basic principle of devotional service to the Lord. Hare Krishna. So we'll chant the Mangalacharan prayers. You can unmute if you know and chant alongside with me. Om Agnyantimirantasya Gyananjanashalaakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Ladita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishnabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Manchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyai Cha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Kaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Srimati Radhanath Swami Niti Namine. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, so welcome. We will start with, the uh, genesis of starting from the beginning, and then how everything is linked. So first, what we need to understand is here this chapter is titled Explanation. So we will get into details of what an explanation is and then how and why it is necessary. So when we say explanation, is it is something to make something clear, a statement, and you go into great details, and the full picture is what you present. Now, why is it necessary? So, for example, we have, Prabhupada has given so many purports. The shlokas remain the same. If you open any edition of Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, doesn't matter by whomever, by maybe a mental speculator or great Vaishnava acharyas, the shlokas remain the same. There's no change in that. However, how it is understood, yeah, that differs very tremendously. So explanations are necessary so that The person who's learning knows it thoroughly as it is. That is the operative word, dear devotees. And therefore, it will prevent us from jumping to conclusions. We have a tendency, we have this gift of the mind which Krishna has given us, the intelligence, the gift of intelligence. But these are used only for our own self gratification, sense gratification purposes. So anything and everything that we see, hear, any experiences that we have is only dovetailed into how that thing could be beneficial for me, how that thing could be gratifying my senses. So we have these little pigeonholes that we have created in our mind. So we look at everything through these filters. And that's why what happens, especially with philosophy and religion, is we cherry pick things which we want. And if there is something which is not fitting into that pigeonhole, we make adjustments and then we give explanations and reasons, our explanation and reasons, and try to fit it in these holes. But no, it is no longer the truth. It has been corrupted. So that's why explanations from a pure devotee, like Prabhupada's purport, is very, very necessary. So before we do anything, we should understand this thoroughly. Any knowledge that we are acquiring, what is the authority, what are the bona fide credentials of that person. So this is what an explanation is and why explanations are necessary. Then now when we understand it, we come to understanding what is philosophy. These are terms which are commonly used, and many a times our understanding may not be exactly as to what it is. So once we have the foundation correct, then everything on top of that is perfect. What is philosophy? The fundamental nature of knowledge, reality, and existence. This is the definition of philosophy. Fundamental nature. You can't go further below than that. The fundamental, the basis of how, what is knowledge, what is reality. Reality, so far we know, is very, very relative, extremely relative. So, end of the day, it's coming to what is truth. Truth is truth. It remains as it is. Yeah. The attributes of what truth is. It is eternal. It doesn't change, doesn't need majority's approval to say that it is truth, things like that. So, not relative. So, for example, the room temperature would be 70. I may be feeling comfortable. Someone may be feeling chilly. Someone may be feeling really very hot. The reality is it is 70. My perception of truth varies according to whatever these filters that we have. So, philosophy is that understanding it as it is. Now, what is Sankhya philosophy? Sankhya philosophy is the analytical study. Analytical study is it makes it threadbare. It removes all the layer and goes into deep. What, why, how. It gets into great details, not just surface level. It dives deep. The depth and width is what analysis of something covers, of reality, of matter. What is the truth related to matter and of spirit? Now, this is what Lord Kapila, his purpose when he had went, when he came, the avatar Lord Kapila, this is where it started off. Okay. What makes any philosophy complete and meaningful? Now, there are many, there have been great philosophers in the religious school of thought as well as the regular sciences. Really great, who really went out of their comfort zone and they were thinking, why is it like that? Why is it like that? So, whatever makes a philosophy complete and meaningful is bhakti. Actually, that is the purpose and goal of all branches of knowledge. In absence of that, as Prabhupada has remarked, Bhakti Yoga is the basic principle of all systems of philosophy. All philosophy which doesn't aim for devotional service to the Lord is simply mental speculation. When these children, they have in these parks what is called the monkey bars and jungle gym. They have these things, structures created, and little children with all their energy, they jump on it and they swing and they jump from one place, catch another, they hold it, again swing for a little while and jump here, there. and they have a lot of fun. And while swinging from one to another, they may sometimes slip and fall, and again they come. That is what mental speculation is with all subject matter of philosophy. Like little children, they're swinging on this thought, they're swinging on that thought, trying to grasp this, that, and then when they get it, they say, ah, this is the truth. And then, it slips and it falls. Someone else will come and say, no, 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 that is the truth. So this is mental speculation. Until and unless it isn't dovetailed, it doesn't bring the mind, the thought, the thinking, the knowledge to the point of bhakti yoga, it is all useless. Hare Krishna. And of course, bhakti yoga without philosophical basis is simply sentiment. Simply, there are many people emotional, and they listen to kirtan and tears will start flowing from their eyes, or very poetic and very. But until and unless there is no basis, the philosophy, the reality, they don't understand what is what. It is simply just emotions. Hare Krishna. Now, if we get a little further into this, chapter 29 deals with glories of devotional service. Now, what are these glories? Anything which is glorious is spontaneously attractive. So even in a mundane material world, you have sportsmen and they, great, great feats they achieve out of the ordinary, and becomes attractive because that's what all of us are spontaneously attracted to anything which is glorious. So here, the glories of devotional service is to reawaken the spontaneity that we have for bhakti. Also, another important point is when we glorify others, it helps develop and sustain a mood of humility. Humility is the platform on which bhakti can be enacted. So when we glorify someone, when we talk about somebody else's quality, not lip service, not with the expectation of getting something, and not flattery, uh, glorifying genuinely from the heart, we accept, we see good in everybody, and then we try to imbibe that good, whichever is there in us. When we are finding faults in someone, it is nothing but called projection, which is we are looking at whatever is in us and we are seeing that and we're trying to, put it onto the other person. So glorifying others helps us develop a mood of humility. Now, it also talks about how time and conditioned soul, how time works on conditioned soul. The devotee's time only works in this material world. In spiritual world, it is conspicuous by its absence. It is eternal. Whatever is up there is eternal. Only the conditioned souls are subject to the effect of time. And why Kapilam Dev is talking about the influence of time in this chapter, so that we can understand, oh, it's really a ghastly situation. And then whatever these material activities, from the time we wake to the time we sleep, from the time we come out of the womb to the time we go to our tombs, that's all we are doing, sense gratification. So then, we'll have little bit of sense, oh, this is actually, um, I'm not doing the right thing. And then here it opens with this today's shloka, text 1 and 2, where she inquires Mother Devahuti. Now, see, she is her son. The Lord Kapila is her son. The mother's position was always superior. But when it comes to these matters of understanding philosophy, bhakti, the spiritual master is always, always, always superior. Knowledge flows from top to down, not from down to top, just like water. Water is naturally flows from top to down. The moment, correct, you get to the same level, the water doesn't flow. So it is an arrogance which brings us up to the same level or even above. No, that it won't work at all. So always a humble position and always down and always submissively, humbly inquire. So which is the ultimate end? What is the ultimate end of all philosophical systems? This is an inquiry. So here are these certain points we have already talked about it. Analytical Sankhya is analytical study of existence, gets proper knowledge by examining nature and characteristics of everything, getting knowledge just for the sake of knowledge so that I can give good class or I can impress people, a sense gratification. And very careful we have to be. The more learned we become, actually knowledge, the weight of knowledge can blunt the edge of curiosity, wanting to know more. Ignorance is not being aware of something, that is not ignorance. Not wanting to know, that is ignorance. And not wanting to know happens when this arrogance says, now I know everything, whatever it is about bhakti, about mathematics, this, that. There's nothing more to learn. So curiosity, and this is such a subject matter, bhakti, it is unlimited. It is about Krishna. Krishna is unlimited. So always be curious, always be inquiring. Make proper use of the intelligence. Srila Prabhupada said, proper use, intelligence, questions are a symptom of intelligence. So if you're just chasing knowledge for the sake, of getting to be a buddhiman, vidwan, is like empty husk you're beating, the wheat grain is enclosed in a husk, and you beat it and it comes out. Now, if you're the value, that is a value, the grain has value, the husk has no value. You keep beating the husk, what are you going to do? It's waste of time. Yeah, and that's why Prabhupada said religion without philosophy is fanaticism. Fanaticism is an extreme form of an emotion or a sentiment, whatever it may be, anger or whatever. And philosophy without religion is sentiment. Hare Krishna. So now we come to Prabhupada's man, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Swami Maharaj Ki Jai. He recently passed away. There's a beautiful video. A devotee, we don't know him, Radhe Radhe, posted on a WhatsApp group. It's a short video, 3-4 minutes, about entire Maharaj's summary of Maharaj's life. So, very, very, very significant is he had this curiosity, extremely well educated from prestigious universities, high intellect, but he didn't jump into this mental gymnastics, that jungle gym. He was finding where is the truth. Where he used to go to churches, temples, everywhere, trying to find the answer. And that's where, when he was in Montreal, he came in contact with the devotees. And he learned that Prabhupada is coming on June 1st. And he happened to reach there on 30th of uh, May 31st of May, one day before Srila Prabhupada came. And he asked, is there anything that I can do? See, this is humility. This is the mood of service. And the temple president assigned him, okay, you can go to Prabhupada's apartment and clean it. Take care. Prabhupada's house. So he went and he cleaned. And the first time, you get it, Prabhupada comes there, brand new to the devotee. There are devotees who've been there for a long time, Prabhupada's disciples, waiting for Prabhupada to come. And Prabhupada, showers his mercy on Maharaj. And Maharaj, out of all the devotees, had this special quality which is very similar to Prabhupada. Similar Leela which Prabhupada and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj had is what Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj had with Prabhupada. He was very attentive when listening to Prabhupada's pravachans. So, and Prabhupada noticed that. Within 2 weeks, Prabhupada initiated him, and he didn't change his name. At birth, he was Gopal Krishna, and Prabhupada awarded him Diksha and didn't change his name. Gopal Krishna. And since then, of course, he's a native of Delhi. In this journey on earth, he is a native of Goloka. He Prabhupada had remarked, we need a temple in Delhi. And then he built one, not just one, went on to get the second, third, fourth, fifth, 10th, over 20 temples Maharaj has commissioned all on himself. Now, a sannyasi doesn't work. A sannyasi has no recourse to, and all these things are very, very expensive projects. How does that happen? Ask yourself, how does that happen? Now, someone may say, oh, the disciples and, people give donations. Yes, but how? How do those sources, do they just come walking? Mother Lakshmi just comes on her own? No. Then for that, we can refer to Bhakti Tir Swami Maharaj's, what he has said. When the desire to serve exceeds one's capacity and capabilities, but still you want to serve, yes, I have so many limitations, internal, external, but still I want to do that. Yeah. Then that is where divine empowerment happens. Divine, excuse me, then it is not yours. Krishna makes it. Actually, we think we are the doer, but that's nothing can be further from the truth. We are just one. All we can do is put in a sincere effort. Krishna makes all the arrangement. Hare Krishna. Pure devotee should, you know, uh, we are going to be having a celebration of Sunday School Annual Day this Sunday. And I was talking with Madhupati Prabhu. Madhupati Prabhu is my friend, my dear, dear friend, my guide, my philosopher. I owe so much to him, my path of bhakti. And so many questions, in a week, I don't know how many times I tap on Madhupati Prabhu, like, Prabhu, what is this? Whether it is with philosophy or whether it is the practical application or even regular work related, or family related, or whatever it is, how to do home worship, things like that. Little details, and Prabhu explains so nicely. So always, I was talking about, should it be subdued? Should it be because, typical when someone passes away, he says, no, passing away of a Vaishnav is a festival. It's celebrated. Mahaprabhu took Haridas Thakur in his arms and he was dancing in joy. He was dancing in joy. This is not frivolous celebration like what we do in parties and all that for sense gratification. It is an expression of our joy that this soul who did so much for us is now with Srila Prabhupada. He's now, serving in he's gone back to Godhead. That is the celebration. That, of course, there is grief, which is from the separation, because all of us have attachment. That is the pure attachments. That's the proper form of attachment. That kind of attachment is liberating. That kind of grief is not detrimental to our mental well-being. In fact, it further inspires us, it further encourages us, it gives us motivation to keep engaging in these little things that we're doing in bhakti, however imperfectly. So we humbly pray at the lotus feet of Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, that his life, whatever little bit that we know about the examples that Maharaj has set as an Acharya, we can just try, at least try to follow this. Hare Krishna. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj Ji ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Samaveta Gaura Bhakta Brind ki jai. Yathai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bo. Thank you, dear devotees. Madhupati Prabhu, over to you.
657. 58,
Anyone
okay.
has something to say about Maharaj, please do. We have 2 minutes.
Okay. Those will end early. We'll like to wish you all. It's Shiv and Krishna Conscious Day ahead. We'd like to offer our prayers to the Supreme Lord by chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Nrsingo, Jai Nrsingo, Jai Jai Nrsingo, Praladesha, Jaya Padma Mukha Padma Bringa Mugra Veera Mahavishnu Jyantam Sarvato Mukham Nrsingham Vishan Badram Satyamitim Namami Am. Nrsinga Bhagwan ki Jai, Prahlad Maharaj ki Jai. There is a program in the evening, memorial service for His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj at the temple. You are all invited. On behalf of all the disciples of Gopal Krishna Maharaj. Also tomorrow, His Holiness Bhakti Marg Maharaj is going to come to our temple in the evening, and we'll have a program tomorrow also in the evening at the temple from 7 to 9 p.m. So, note down both these days, today and tomorrow. Each and every day we can be absorbed in Krishna consciousness And we learn from the stalwart devotees who have been amidst us, and by their example shown their dedication completely to Guru and Krishna. So if we take something from the life, no, they have entered into Nitya Lila, they have joined Prabhupada in other planets to preach the mission. But they have left examples behind which we can follow. That how we can dedicate our life. Right? Gopal Krishna Maharaj was also a grihastha, right, before he took sannyas. So those many times say, oh no, it's easy for you, but not much. We have grihastha, we are householders. No, the householders can also think about the next steps, how I can dedicate my life completely in Krishna consciousness. And think about entering into the next ashrams. The ashrams does not end at grihastha. There are two other ashrams after that, vanaprastha and sannyas. Right. On that note, I would like to offer my humble obeisances to all the assembled Vaishnavas, Vancha Kalpatarubhasya, Kripa Sindhudaya Patitanam Pavane Bhayo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. वैष्णविंद की जय, श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, शिला प्रभुपाद की जय, गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि हरि।
Thank you, Amritananda
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Thank you, everybody. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.